Thinking like a psychologist is a superpower. It allows you to understand people better, to communicate with them more effectively, and to solve problems in novel and creative ways. And you don't even need a degree in psychology to learn how to do it. I'm a clinical psychologist and host of a podcast where we explore the power of the mind. Today we're going to look at 3 ways that you can start thinking like a psychologist right now. 1. Frame your thoughts and questions from different perspectives. This is something that I teach my clients who want to improve their critical thinking skills. When we experience something that upsets us or causes us to feel uncomfortable, our natural reaction is to try and make sense of it so that we can feel better. We ask ourselves questions like, why did this happen to me? What is the meaning of this? How could this be possible? These are all very valid questions, and they come from a place of love. They come from a place of wanting to understand so that we can heal, but they can also lead us down a path of rumination and obsessive worrying if we're not careful. Instead, try reframing your thoughts and questions and consider asking yourself, how might this experience be trying to help me grow? How could this be a blessing in disguise? What might I be learning about myself through this experience? Now I know that this can feel forced and fake at first, but the more that you practice asking yourself these kinds of questions, the more that you'll start to see the world through a lens of curiosity rather than judgment. And that's half the battle when it comes to thinking like a psychologist. 2. Pay attention to the details. One of the most important things that we learn in psychology school is that the mind is incredibly complex. There are so many factors that influence human behavior, motivation, emotion, cognition, perception, personality, social situations, cultural norms. All of these things and more play a role in shaping who we are and how we interact with the world around us. So instead of trying to come up with one big answer to explain why someone did something, try breaking it down into smaller parts. Try looking at the specific details of the situation and considering all of the different factors that might have contributed to the outcome. This doesn't mean that you have to become an expert on everything. You don't. It just means that you have to be willing to consider multiple perspectives and to think outside of the box. When you pay attention to the details, you'll start to see patterns emerge. You'll start to see how the small things that we often overlook can actually tell us a lot about people and relationships and situations. And that's another thing that psychologists are trained to do, to look for patterns in seemingly random or chaotic situations. 3. Challenge your assumptions. This is probably the most important thing that you can do if you want to start thinking like a psychologist. Our brains are constantly making connections and creating stories based on our past experiences and our beliefs about the world. The problem is that sometimes these stories aren't true or they're not helpful. They might be based on outdated information or on inaccurate memories. They might be keeping us stuck, or they might be preventing us from moving forward in our lives. As psychologists, we're trained to challenge our assumptions and to question our beliefs. We know that the only way we can truly understand people is by considering the possibility that we might be wrong. So next time you find yourself making a snap judgment or forming an opinion about something or someone, take a step back and ask yourself, is this really true? Where did this belief come from? Is it helping me or is it hurting me? Am I holding on to this because I think it is true or because I am afraid of what might happen if I let go? Thinking like a psychologist is a skill that can be learned with practice. It's a skill that can help you to become a better communicator, a better problem solver, and a better decision maker. So don't wait. Start practicing these techniques today and see how they can improve your life tomorrow.